Ken Leon.
Oh, fun.
Who worked with Michael on Lost, who's an actor I wanted to work with, who started, guest starred in episode 1. We'll be coming back, and we'll just be continuing to try to tell compelling stories of the week set in a different world in New York, but slowly ratcheting up kind of the tension. And like I said with the panel, I think when you have great actors, you want to give them great material. So much as everyone, I'm sure the audience and writers and all of us will be happy to just kind of hang out right where we're at right now. 4 characters, thank you. 4 characters who like each other, understand each other. Still secrets, there's still lots of secrets, but they're kind of allies. But it's not that they won't be allies, but it's that, you're going to throw a wrinkle in there occasionally. So expect things to take a turn for the worse. They have a somewhat different philosophy about just how far they should push that issue. Carter's a natural detective. She's never going to be satisfied with, being kept at arm's length. But Foscar has a very different background, kind of understands the distinction. I think the line that he used in the 3rd episode is whatever level these guys are playing at, we're not there. So you're going to continue to see that be a question and a source of some disagreement between them. Well, I'm going to get troubled if I say any particular episode you should be looking forward to, because I got a writing staff and they're all extremely talented people. We try to make every episode one that you got to have the larger movements that are playing out here in terms of the serialized aspect of the story. Like I said, when you got great actors, you want to give them challenging material. So we're going to throw some challenges at them a little later on in the season. And of course, you got Root. She said she's going to be back. It's just a question of when and how.
Yeah, we saw her on the panel. So will that happen before mid-season?
Define mid-season.
It's like episode 12, I guess. It's where it's typically shot.
No comment. I think you'd expect her to, the thing about Root is she surprises you. But, we have a number of other villains that we need to catch up with.
Hopefully for Sweeps, right?
The intersection. We try to make every episode a Sweeps episode.
Yeah.
They're still trying to explain to me what Sweeps is. Yeah, we have the great problem that we have on the show is we have these wonderful actors and some fun characters that we've created for them, and a lot of fans who want to catch up with each and every one. We looked long and hard at shows like the X-Files that really pull it off with grace. We're able to tell compelling stories every week. We felt like the franchise of our show, the kind of natural, fun franchise, a little like shows like Quantum Leap, was you just kind of, airmail into someone's world. Our 4 investigators find themselves kind of just, all you get is a person, so you're trying to figure out their world each week. And that felt like a great, natural franchise for procedural. Procedural to me has never been a form of TV shows I grew up watching. And there was some fantastic ones. We're talking about Wall Street Blues, Miami Vice, the X-Files. The nice thing about it as well is that you get to tell a complete story. You don't have to just keep the plate spinning for one more week and come up with something that happened just for the sake of something happening. You get to step into a world, explore it a little bit, step back out of it, but simultaneously keep this deeper mythology. And that was an aspect of my favorite shows was always the bigger questions. I was a huge Magnum fan when I was a kid. We were always wondering what happened to his wife, what happened to his kid, how does this guy wind up living the guest house? Who is Robin Masterson? You can stretch those out for 10 seasons, but we aim each season to give our audience as many answers as we give them questions. I think that's playing fairly. So far, it seems to be working. Last year was the first season of television I ever worked on, and it wasn't a total disaster from our perspective back in writers' room. You go into it, this is kind of one of the fun things about it. You go into it with some assumptions, some suppositions, some mandates, and then we have an extremely talented group of writers, and they come up with better ideas, and then we get to take credit for them. So I think you have to have a certain amount of flexibility going through the season. Some characters work less. And so you tend to write to the material that's working within the constraints of, where we know this is inevitably going. I felt like when I pitched the show, and maybe this is naive, but I felt like you had to know where it was going. It's a question of, when you're pitching it to networks, they'll ask you, okay, so what's the series finale? And we have an answer for that. We know where it's going. The fun is that some of the stops along the way, you can, you sort of discover new territory as you're working. I spent a lot of time in the Batman universe, and definitely, I'm sure some similarities. Batman Beyond is a very cool property. It's not one I spent a lot of time looking at, but that idea, if you look at any comic book, almost any comic book here, the key component seems to be the vigilante aspect. There's something extremely compelling about having a character who's trying to help people, but in doing so, putting themselves in harm's way, both naturally and legally and all those sorts of things. So I looked at the great success of these movies in the last 10 years. It was kind of phenomenal. It's a great time for comic fans to be and wondered why that hadn't necessarily translated to the small screen. And I felt like you had a couple of things that worked there. But the essence of it, so we tried with Person of Interest, it's a science fiction show, there's a genre element to it. We tried to strip it down to the essentials. What are the essential attributes of a comic book hero? And then ground it even more. Those are the comic book characters I was always drawn to. Batman, chief among them. Because he's a guy, his superpower is rage and money. And that makes for a compelling story.